right. Well, I thought today we'd go over something interesting I found.
Thank God you have a topic.
Well, everybody knows about the Nobel Prize.
What's that?
The Nobel Prize is.
Oh, there's more? There's more than one?
Of course, there's more than one.
Oh, is it because of the Peace Prize?
Well, there's Peace Prize. There's what? There's physics. There's mathematics. There's
Oh,
literature.
okay,
There's
okay. No, it's just whenever I hear about Nobel Prize, it's like you either hear the Nobel Prize, or you hear the Nobel Peace Prize. I thought there was another one, like the Nobel War Prize.
so. Let's see. Which ones are they?
No math one though, because of the controversy.
What do you mean?
Well, there's the rumor that Alfred Nobel's wife or girlfriend ran away with a mathematician, and so he had a grudge
Oh,
against math. I don't think that's actually true. I think that was just a myth, but there is no Nobel Prize for math.
fair enough. But there is peace. There is literature. There are science ones. But anyways, so what I found out was there's also a set of prizes called the Ig Nobel prizes, which are satirical Nobel prizes, and they honor achievements that first make people laugh and then make them think. And the Nobel Prize. If you get a Nobel Prize, you get $1 million, and if you get an Ig Nobel Prize, you get 10 trillion Zimbabwe dollars.
Wow, that's a hefty sum of money, isn't it? Let's see what the conversion it says about that.
It's about 40 cents US dollars.
Ah, okay, so not as much as I thought.
Yeah.
I can't even buy one egg anymore.
No, no. But, it's a nice little collector's item that you got an Ig Nobel Prize.
Yeah, I think anybody should feel honored to have an Ig Nobel Prize.
So the thing about the Ig Nobel Prizes is that, they're not really like Darwin Awards or anything like that. They're real research. It's not goofy. It is goofy stuff, but it's real.
Yeah, it's not stupidity that's discovering these things.
Yeah, no, it's not random chance or anything like that. It's like generally real, mostly scientists who do research, and their purpose is, or the prize is they make you laugh, but it's real research, and it's like, oh, okay. Now some of these are goofier than others, but I thought we'd go through the list of the 2025 recipients, which was just recently awarded in mid September.
So hold on a second. So, because how does the Nobel Prize work? Is it only one prize per category for each time the awards are held?
Yeah.
And then, but in this case, do you get different categories, or is it just like, is there an Ig Nobel Prize for physics, an Ig Nobel Prize for economics?
So there's 11, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 10. There's 10 award categories.
Okay.
Figure we go through these and just think about them.
First laugh and then think.
Yeah, that's right. We'll first laugh and then think. So the award for the Ig Nobel Prize in aviation went to 4 people for studying whether ingesting alcohol can impair bats' ability to fly and also their ability to echolocate.
Wow. Look at that. So aviation doesn't just mean human aviation, it means any animal's aviation.
Yeah, some of these are a little bit loosey-goosey, so...
So are the bats after drinking.
And let's see, hold on. Let's see if I can find the abstract here.
And was it published in like Science or which, was it a major journal?
I don't know, it doesn't say where it's published. It just takes me, it's just a website that says sciencedirect.com and says it was accepted there. I don't know what sciencedirect.com is. Publisher Elsevier, date June 2010. I'm sure it's been published somewhere. Anyway, so ethanol, a potential toxin for vertebrates, is present in all fleshy fruits, and its content increases as the fruit ripens. So, I mean, I guess it's not like just grabbing a bat and shoving beer down its throat, right?
Oh,
It's looking at, it's
what I
looking
thought
at
it
the
was.
fact that there is alcohol in fruits. So,
And they eat rotten fruits sometimes. And they're tiny, so for them eating something that looks rotten and for us would just be like, it's a tiny bit of alcohol maybe. But for them it's like, they get a buzz, they get a high.
So previously we found that the marginal value of food for Egyptian fruit bats decreases when its ethanol content exceeds 1%. Therefore, we hypothesized that if ingested, food containing more than 1% alcohol is toxic to these bats, probably causing inebriation that will affect flight and echolocation skills. Tested this hypothesis by flying Egyptian fruit bats in an indoor corridor and found that after ingesting ethanol-rich food, bats flew significantly slower than when fed ethanol-free food. Also, the ingestion of ethanol significantly affected several variables of the bat's echolocation, calls, and behavior. We concluded that ethanol can be toxic to fruit bats. Not only does it reduce the marginal value of food, but it also has negative physiological effects on their ability to fly competently and on their calling ability.
I wonder if you're allowed to experiment on fruit bats. I guess they're considered like white mice, where they're deemed okay to do tests on. Because some people might think this is animal cruelty,
Yeah,
even if you don't like give them a shot of vodka, like I thought they were doing.
yeah, no shots of vodka.
Little pipette of vodka. That's it.
It's not like they're really testing. Like, you can do these kind of things.
Of course you can, yeah. But you wouldn't be able to do it on like a group of cats, I think. There'd be pushback.
Yeah,
You'd need a higher level of approval. And the reason for doing it would have to be more than just, we want to know if they get drunk.
that's true.
But I think fruit bats are probably, because, like white mice are considered, that's what certain labs do, is they experiment on white mice because they don't need any sort of extra, they don't need to be allowed to do it. Let's put it that way. So maybe fruit bats are like that too.
Yeah, I don't know, but there you go. And this was also probably, well, they were Egyptian fruit bats. I mean, they were in Egypt, but let's see, where were these?
Yeah, where are they based?
Two of them were Israeli scientists. One of them was Germany, and one of them was Colombia.
Okay, look at that. International team. Where were they based, though? I don't care about their nationality. I want to see where they did the experiments.
Well, oh yeah, I don't know where they did the experiments. It's just where the four people were. One of them, Mitrani Department of Desert Ecology at Jacob Blaustein Institute for Desert Research at Ben Gurion University of the Negev, Israel. Second one, Ramon Science Center in Israel. Third one, Lerstel Tier Physiologie Zoologische Institut Universitat Tübingen in Germany. And Facultad de Ciencias Ambientales, Universidad de Ciencias Aplicadas y Ambientales in Colombia.
Uh-huh. So, but I guess they all have their own university, and then they got together because this is their passion project in life.
That's right.
To make fruit bats drink and to see if they.
Four people who wanted to know about drunk bats just got together on a Facebook group and said, "Let's do it." That was the aviation prize. The biology prize went to, these look like they were more concentrated. They look like they're a bunch of Japanese people, for their experiments to learn whether cows painted with zebra-like stripes can avoid being bitten by flies.
So if you paint a cow with zebra stripes, it just makes me think of The Simpsons, where they are like, what did they do? They painted cows to look like horses because horses don't look like, or no, they painted horses to look like cows because real cows don't look like cows on camera. Now, what kind of cows were they, though? Like, was it the stereotypical black and white dotted cow or a brown one?
Team from Japan took home the biology award for demonstrating that painting cows with black and white stripes did in fact have the amount of times they were bitten by flies, providing a possible alternative to using pesticides.
But what I mean is, did they paint the cow white fully first and then paint the black stripes? Because most cows, like, they don't actually look like black and white, right? That's just the stereotype.
It looks like they took at least this picture was taking a black cow and painting it white.
Okay, white stripes. All right. Like the band. Huh. And what kind of paint did they use, though?
I have no idea.
Because they would have to, like, withstand rain and stuff, right?
Scientists noted flies can be attracted to animals due to factors like their smell, shape, movement, and color, as well as how they polarize light, which black and white stripes do. They argue painting cows could reduce pesticide use while preventing more livestock from health problems associated with bites. Yeah, I don't have a lot of details because the link to the paper is broken. So
they polarize light, though, with the stripes. That's interesting. So are they saying that if a human paints themselves with stripes, black and white stripes, they can also reduce the chance the flies would bother them? Let's say they're in a place in the forest somewhere where flies are abundant.
I don't know. Doesn't say anything about its further application other than avoiding pesticide use.
But the stripes look like a zebra. They're not like really thin stripes, right?
No, they're pretty thick. There you go. Paint your cows like zebras.
Stripe your cows.
Less fly bites. Have to use less pesticides. Do they use the pesticides on the cows?
Sure, why not?
Spray the cows down with pesticide to keep flies off of them.
Wouldn't you do that? It's the same as like anti-mosquito spray for humans. Right? You can spray that on yourself before you go out.
That is true.
It's just as edible.
All right, moving on to the prize in chemistry.
Oh, well, this is a good one. I'm looking forward to this.
3 people for experiments to test whether eating Teflon is a good
Ooh,
way to increase food volume and hence satiety without increasing calorie content.
damn, that's a good one. I'm all
Can
for
you
that.
eat Teflon?
Yeah. So Teflon is the stuff that they put on the non-stick pans.
Yeah.
Yeah, I love that stuff. Yeah, I'd scrape it off all the time.
You scrape it off and just right into your mouth.
Oh yeah, yeah. Well, you scrape while you're cooking, right? Oh, they say like, oh, you got to use a spatula or something that doesn't scrape the pan. But no, no, you go in there with a fork. You scrape it as you're picking up your food, and then you get all that juicy Teflon together with it. So I'm thinking this is a positive. Let's do it. Let's read.
So the idea is that the material would slip through the digestive system and then simply slide out.
Ooh, nice.
But apparently, the U.S. food regulator did not like their idea.
Damn, look at that, pushing down on the little guy.
Since satiety is largely due to stretch of stomach, and people tend to eat a consistent weight of food, increasing food volume and mass increases satiety. This can be achieved without increasing the calories of food by mixing food with a material that cannot be metabolized. Such a material should be inert, safe, resistant to stomach acid, lack taste, available in powder form, smooth, resistant to heat, and cost effective. Teflon is an ideal substance for this purpose. It is a soft plastic that is widely considered to be the most inert material known and is extremely stable. Animal feeding trials, so I guess they at least made
Yeah,
it through animals.
let's do it. Let's do it.
Animal feeding trials showed that rats fed a diet of 25% Teflon for 90 days had no signs of toxicity and that the rats lost weight.
That's
This
wonderful.
article publishes the data from these subchronic animal feeding trials, reviews the relevant available literature, and hypothesizes that increasing the volume of food by mixing the food with Teflon powder at a ratio of 3 parts food to 1 part Teflon by volume will substantially improve satiety and reduce caloric consumption in people.
I like that ratio. So hold on a second. Now the best part about
And
the
okay, so
Teflon.
apparently this is because civilization has made has 0 calorie drinks, but we have not yet made the leap into the realm of 0 calorie food. So the first step toward achieving this goal is the ability to increase the volume of food without adding
So
calories.
they're going to increase the ratio until it gets to be like 99% Teflon and only 1% food. That's amazing.
Yeah, and then all the big food companies are going to adopt it, and all of a sudden your food's going to be just Teflon.
Yeah. That's the dream, isn't it? But the best part about it, think about
Zero
it. So
calories.
Teflon, you say it's inert, the stomach acid doesn't react with it. So what'll happen is you go to the bathroom, you take out that Teflon that you just put in the toilet, and you can reuse it
There you go.
as filler for the next time you have a meal.
Yeah, just in and out, right back into the
That's
pan.
right.
That's it.
It's fascinating.
So, artificial sweeteners utilize a similar idea where the molecules cannot be metabolized or broken down by the body. That's what makes them 0 calorie, is that they're just they just go out.
In one hole, out the other hole. That's amazing. So that's why they work. So basically, what you're saying is artificial sweeteners are 100% safe. Teflon is 100% safe. We can eat all we want and not gain any weight.
For 90 days at least, 25% Teflon
And
is
90
good for rats.
days
So,
is plenty of time. That's a long-term trial if I ever saw one. Now, did they do it on more than rats? Maybe fruit bats?
I don't know. I'm just reading the abstract.
Can you buy Teflon? Can you buy a jug of Teflon or a tub of Teflon on Amazon? Or
I'm not sure.
we should do that.
Go for it. You can be and then write these guys.
I'm a big fan of your research, fellas. I want to be your first human subject.
That's right. And it says this was published in
Oh, they got Teflon tape. I'm talking powder.
This was published in the Journal of Diabetes, Science, and Technology in 2016.
Hold on, Journal of Diabetes. I just want to see if it's like a hack journal.
Journal of Diabetes, Science, and Technology.
I mean, it is peer reviewed. I don't know if that means anything.
That's a step in the right direction. So
It's probably solid evidence for eating Teflon and not worrying. So Teflon powder.
well, I mean, in theory,
Oh, so Teflon is a proprietary thing.
the actual scientific thing is Polytetrafluoroethylene.
Ah, yes, there it is. Yeah, very good point. Chemically inert. That's beautiful. I love things that are chemically inert. I just love the idea of it. It's just a thing. It's just something that goes in one hole, comes out the other hole. Isn't it beautiful that such a thing exists?
Anyways, I can see why it'd be published in a diabetes journal. I think if you could do that, you could, in theory, allow diabetic people to eat a broader range of food because it wouldn't affect the kidneys in that.
It says right here, Teflon is often found in musical instrument lubrication products, most commonly valve oil. And I'm thinking like, well, people, musicians, that means they're huffing this Teflon all the time. And they're like the healthiest people on earth, musicians. Happiest, healthiest
It's
people
not
in the
about
world.
huffing it. It's about mixing it with food so that the food
Yeah, but they're just getting it directly.
has less calories. Doing it by itself wouldn't have any real. I guess it would. I mean, I guess if you could just eat Teflon, then
Yeah, you fill up your stomach that way.
I guess it's also 0 calories.
You know what?
so-
This is very similar to, the idea that if you're hungry, you can temporarily alleviate that by just drinking a lot of water very quickly so that your stomach fills up.
Yeah.
I feel like, you know what? Why not just start eating Teflon instead of drinking a glass of water?
Why don't you just mix your Teflon powder into the water?
It's the new protein powder, It's like instead of a protein shake, no, none of that chemical stuff. Just go straight for the Teflon. Teflon powder shake.
There you go.
And you can make a smoothie with it. You can, mix up. That's the thing. You can make smoothies. So you reduce how much like ice cream and stuff is in there. You just put more Teflon. And then you put the artificial sweeteners so that you get all the sugar. You don't even need the ice cream. It's literally just artificially sweetened Teflon with maybe milk. But even the milk, you can probably forgo that. That's really good stuff. I'm excited about this one. I'm gonna be buying some Teflon powder as soon as I can.
There you go. Get the Teflon stocks now because it's only uphill from here.
Well, is that a new research article? What date was it?
That was from 2016.
Hold on a second. So they only got the Ig Nobel Prize this year?
Yeah.
Oh, well, it's going to get popular, though. So, yeah. When was the prize?
September.
Damn. It's probably already gone up.
It probably has, but it's not near, not full adoption yet. So there's still time. Time to get in. All right, moving on to engineering.
Oh, that's a good one. Just general engineering. Okay.
This was engineering design. This was awarded to 2 people for analyzing from an engineering design perspective how foul-smelling shoes affect the good experience of using a shoe rack.
That's a good point. A shoe rack could be very, very smelly.
Absolutely. This is apparently an opportunity for shoe rack redesign, ergonomics for improved productivity. One of ergonomics' prominent roles is to understand and design lifestyle support system that, apart from optimizing human well-being and overall system performance, also brings good experience of using any product. This paper is focused on understanding the good experience part of any design. It presents a pilot study to understand how foul-smelling shoes affect the good experience of using a shoe rack. Literature reports many studies concerning the interaction of humans with shoes and shoe racks. However, limited research has been reported on understanding how foul-smelling shoes affect the overall experience of using a shoe rack. India is a hot and humid country, and people often perspire after medium to vigorous physical activity, leading to foul-smelling body, clothes, and shoes. People regularly bathe and wash clothes, but shoes are seldom washed.
That's true.
And without proper ventilation, it becomes a breeding ground for a very smelly bacterium called Psittacoccus sedentarius. This paper posits that the foul smell affects the user's experience of using shoe racks and reports a pilot study to understand the severity of the problem. The paper starts with a literature review establishing the research gap, then illustrates the survey results and why existing solutions are not so popular in India. The last part of the paper presents some basic experiments conducted which may eliminate the problem of foul smell and improve users' overall experience when integrated with the shoe rack design.
It's true, though. Like, people don't really wash their shoes. Usually it's hard to wash them in a, you don't normally put them in a washing machine. It's usually not a good idea. And washing them by hand is a tedious endeavor. Do you wash your shoes?
Nope.
If we can get personal now, while talking about this article. I don't wash my shoes, but I've washed them before. Whether it's, let's say I've gone hiking and it's just, they're covered in mud, you do need to wash them. Otherwise,
that makes sense. Yeah.
it's going to be awful. But yeah, normally I don't. And my idea for a shoe rack would be to have something that has an ultraviolet light on it all the time. Because that's a good way to kill bacteria, is to just have them be under an ultraviolet light all the time.
Right.
but that's probably not as portable as a shoe rack is meant to be. So the article is about different designs for shoe racks, is what they're saying.
Yeah, and maybe how you can better integrate them in specifically India.
Yeah, India is probably if you can make it in India, you can make it anywhere. That's what I'm hearing.
True. And this was actually a talk that was given at the International Conference of the Indian Society of Ergonomics.
Oh, there's a whole society for ergonomics just in India.
That's right. And then it was further published in Design, Science, and Innovation, which it says it's a book series, but I guess a journal could be also considered a book series. So there you go. Included in the following conference series: HWWE, International Conference of Indian Society of Ergonomics; HWWE, International Conference on Humanizing Work and Work Environment. And those were in 2017 and 2021. So it looks like they might have done two things. And next up is literature. You're gonna like this one, Raji. This was given to William B. Bean. One guy.
Just one guy. Wow.
One guy. Yeah. All these have been multiple people, but this is one guy.
Mr. Bean.
Yeah, Mr. Bean. He passed away. Wait, how did he pass away?
What? Mr. Bean passed away?
Oh no, maybe not. Okay, this is actually quite an old thing. So anyway, this guy died in this is a posthumous award because he passed away in 1989.
What? Oh my God. Yeah, they took their sweet time to get to this prize.
Yep. Yep. And actually, he coined a term that people do use is Venous Lake, which is a generally solitary, soft, compressible, dark blue papule found on sun-exposed surfaces of the vermilion border of the lip, face, and ears.
I have never used that term.
No, me neither. But I guess it's a term.
And
Venus, but anyway, so
Venus spelled with a Venous, not like the planet.
Yeah. But anyways, that's not what he got the award for. He got the award for persistently recording and analyzing the rate of growth of one of his fingernails over a period of 35 years.
Oh, that's amazing. Just one.
Apparently just one.
Okay, which one? Does it say which?
His first journal entry on this was in 1953, and he did many of them. Well, at least the ones I have cited here is 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So he did 6 entries on this between 1953 and 1980. And there might be more, I don't know. But let's see if it says here anywhere. Long-term growth of fingernails. Therefore, I set about to measure the growth of my fingernails to see whether seasonal or secular trends, sporadic or unpredictable variation occurred. Only recently did other studies come to my notice. This paper sets forth observations made over the past 10 years and some consideration of recorded observation on the topic. At the commencement of this series of observations, studies were made on all the nails of the left hand, the right thumb, and the nails of both great toes. Since there was no great variability in rate of growth of any of the individual nails of the hand, measurement was confined to the nail of the left thumb.
The left thumb. A thumb is not a finger, though. But anyway. So here's a question before you move on. If you had to do this, if someone forced you to grow one of your nails for, for the rest of your life, let's say, which one would you pick? And which hand?
Left hand for sure.
Left hand, okay. Because you're a righty.
Yeah. Be foolish to do something like this on your dominant hand. Thumb would be a weird one, but here's the thing. It doesn't look, okay, so let's clarify this. It does not look like he didn't cut his nail over 35 years.
Oh, no? Oh, okay.
That wasn't the goal. The goal was just to measure the rate of growth.
Oh, I see what you mean. So, basically, it just kept growing, and he would cut it, and he would measure how quickly he had to cut it. Okay, but forget about him then. Let's focus on the more grandiose vision of, let's say you're growing it nonstop for 35 years or the rest of your life or whatever. No cutting.
I don't think it would be possible to do. Maybe pinky, I guess.
Well, okay, there we go, pinky. Fair enough.
But I just don't think, even at the rate that I cut my fingernails, very often I will get broken nails. I just don't see a world where I'd be able to do that for a year, let alone 35 years on any finger.
Okay, but a pinky, I guess, you kind of just doing the cop-out of, the smallest one, the most insignificant one.
It's not a cop-out. You have to use a logical answer.
Wow, yeah.
I'm not trying to put forward a shock answer. I just
What
want
if you're allowed
answer.
to put it on your toe, though? What if you're allowed to grow a toenail?
No, that would be...
You prefer to be able to walk
also.
more conveniently? You wouldn't want this giant mass on one of
Well,
your
at some
feet?
point, At some point, you have to like stop wearing shoes,
Not unless you get custom-made
socks.
shoes, right? You just poke a hole in them correctly, and then you got a
I
nice
believe I've
little.
mentioned this before. I remember seeing very starkly on like back when Guinness had a show. I remember seeing them having a guy with the longest toenails on the show.
And he managed.
But he was in sandals. He was like an old Indian guy, and he was in sandals and it curls, right? So it wasn't like this long thing. It was like a big
It's a mass.
curled up thing. Yeah.
That's why you kind of you just it's like a little pet, you know. You
No,
bundle it
that's
up and
gross.
then you're walking around with it.
That's gross.
You could feed it.
Anyways, so in his 35 years of observation, his abstract pointed out that, he wanted to, at this point, he found a nice find that the growth slows with increasing age.
Wow. So the older you get, the slower it gets.
Yeah. So when he was 32, the first part of his study, it was approximately 0.123 millimeters per day. And when he hit 67, it was about 0.095 millimeters per day.
Okay.
So there you go. That's something to look forward to if you.
So 123 to 95.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is a pretty big. Well, not big, but like it's probably significant in the long run.
Well, it would take you. I don't know. I don't know how often I cut my nails, to be honest. But
I cut
buy me a
mine
couple
like
extra days.
every day. No, probably like once a week.
I reckon it would buy me an extra, I don't know, couple days by the time I'm 67.
So that's all you do. You know, if you're sick of cutting your nails, you just gotta age yourself, age up.
It's true.
That is dedication, though. I'm always impressed by people who can uphold a certain experiment for a long, long period of time. Like to have the discipline to do that is impressive. By yourself, I mean, as well.
When he was 61, it was zero point 0.1 millimeter per day.
So, yeah, it's a gradual change.
Yeah, he was pretty persistent with it.
His graphs, are they showing everything like what you would expect? Maybe a linear progression or something that, there's no outliers. There's no like, oh, when I turned 50, my nails just skyrocketed. Boom, they were growing like a centimeter a day. Nothing like that, right?
So essentially, he would measure how long it took for the nail to grow 1.45 centimeters. And he had like a little tattoo mark on his thumb that helped him measure it. But what was your question about graphs?
Yeah, just if he had a graph that showed the progression of like that it would be decreasing. So this year it was this much, this year was this much, this year was this much. Just to see if there's any outliers. If one of the years it suddenly was more than it was the previous year, even though the trend would have been it would be decreasing. It would be slowing down.
It looks like he started in, or at least whatever, this table starts in 1941, November. Yeah, he's got a little graph here. It says in 1941, it took him 114.5 days to reach the mark on average. And by 1951, it took him 124.4 days.
So does he have a graph that shows for every year?
Yeah, it looks like it.
And it looks normal.
At least in his first 10 years. There's some ups and downs. I don't know what they all mean, but they got different locations on them.
I bet it also depends on the diet.
Yeah, probably.
He's probably maintained a reasonably consistent diet, but it does probably have a lot to do with it as well. Although over the course of 35 years, you get to kind of also see that how has the food, he's American, I'm assuming. How has the food differed across the years and maybe how that has affected nail growth?
He's actually Philippian.
So this was in the Philippines? Wow.
Although he's got an education in the University of Virginia, so maybe he lived in the States.
Oh, but see, that's another, I don't know. He can't really be consistent. If he was, let's say he was living in different places across those 35 years, that would have affected it.
Yeah, I don't know. It looks like there's some stuff with location in here. So it's, there's a lot there to read.
Yeah, still impressive, yeah. Good for him. It's been a long time coming.
Yeah, in 1989, he just got in 2025, but he's never going to get to enjoy those 10 trillion Zimbabwe dollars.
Wow, yeah. Back then, that would have been a lot. That would have bought you a whole dozen eggs.
Well, if he got 10 trillion, well, who knows because now you're like, that's a direct conversion from 2025, right? If he got this in 1989, who knows? Maybe the Zimbabwe dollar was worth a lot more.
He probably wouldn't even gotten it.
And then the inflation point.
The Ig Nobel Prize probably didn't even exist back then.
We didn't talk about that. The Nobel Prize first year was 1991.
Oh, damn. Okay.
So it's been going for a long time. And they still have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7. They only had 8 in 1991.
Was a slow year, I guess.
And they had some weird ones, like they had an award in chance.
Chance or chance?
Chance. Chance. I don't know why, but they gave it to John Cage, a music theorist who popularized chance music, aleatoric music, music in which some element of the composition is left to chance.
Oh, interesting. Okay. You flip a coin to decide whether you hit the drum set.
I wonder what they mean by chance. I wonder if they just mean like
Procedurally generated music.
I don't know how much procedurally generated music there was in 19 whenever.
But he theorized it. That's why he was a music theorist. That's cool though. That's actually an interesting idea. Because you can procedurally generate text, right? You can procedurally generate a story, I guess in the same way that AI does it, but this is even before AI. And I bet you could do that with music too.
So it goes back into the 1950s, and it was a procedure for selecting the precise sequence by throwing a number of dice.
And you're doing this while you're performing for people. Hold on, fellas.
know.
I got to roll some dice to see what the next chord's going to be.
Yeah. Yeah, I don't know. This could be its own little rabbit hole here, I suppose. But so it was given out in 1991 originally, and there's many, many years of the Ig Nobel prizes. So there's 5 more. We'll save them for next time because we're already at the 45-minute mark.
And Ig Nobel means not honorable in character or purpose, just because it's not a made-up word, even though nobody really uses it.
And again, the prizes intended to celebrate the unusual, honor the imaginative, and spur people's interest in science, medicine, and technology.
Hey, they spurred me on to buy some Teflon powder.
To buy some Teflon powder and grow your fingernails.
No, the fingernails. I don't buy that. That can be in the past. The Teflon powder is where it's at. Nah. The Teflon powder, man. I'm looking forward to that.
There you go. The future is
Teflon.
Every consumer product having Teflon in it.
The future is covered in Teflon.
You know, the thing I always think of is that, there's a lot of examples of this nowadays, but, a lot of Parmesan cheese can't be advertised as Parmesan cheese because it doesn't meet the percentage of actual Parmesan cheese in the product.
Yeah, but fill it up with Teflon. I'm going to buy it.
So that's what everything's going to be going forward. You're not going to you're going to be like, let's go get some ground beef, except it's going to be impossible to find ground beef. It's going to be ground beef product with Teflon or something like that.
Come on, that would be amazing. And they would inject, for some sort of protein substitute to make sure that it still has the exact right amount of protein that you would normally get for that quantity of ground beef. I would buy that in a heartbeat. Why not? What am I losing from doing this? Come on. You got to stay lean, right? In this day and age.
That's right. Teflon's going to help you.
Teflon is our savior.
I honestly think, I think there was maybe a chance of it being used in the past, in the future, but if we were to have this conversation, 10 years in the past. But now that they have those weight loss drugs, I'm thinking that this isn't probably going to be the most, unless it again, consumerism-wise, unless it proves to be a very cheap way to make food.
Yeah, and there's probably fewer side effects than with the weight loss drugs. Again, it's chemically inert, right? They say it. It says right on the tin, chemically inert.
In and out.
In and out.
In and out. In and out, right back into the pan. Probably floats.
It probably floats. You can exactly. They're gonna and then you make jobs for the people who design toilets. Let's make a new toilet that scoops the Teflon out for you.
It would also kind of help with the water problem, right? If you can not flush a toilet and create a bunch of gray or black water, and you just put it right back into, because water is going to be the big crisis in the next few years.
Well, you're still going to have waste, though, unless they 100% use Teflon, which I don't know. I don't know if it's possible to go
But it might
full
be easier
Teflon.
to filter out less waste. It's
true.
Be easier
it's true.
to safely filter out less waste.
Less waste. It's going to be everybody's going to have a good bowel movement from now on with Teflon powering through.
Like the Teflon will just float to the top, and the rest will just be like actual little fucking rabbit turds.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Come on, this is human society in the future. This is a future that I probably will not be a part of.
Yeah, probably not. Yeah. Yeah.
But I'm looking forward to experimenting with the Teflon before it gets to that level.
Sometimes I wonder where my exit point is going to be. When's going to be the point where society is
you gotta use the Teflon ratio for that. No, you gotta use the Teflon ratio for that. So right now, let's say it's 0. Okay, it's very slow going. But maybe in the next 5 years, it'll get to 10%, 25%. You have to ask yourself, when should I leave? At what percentage of Teflon in my food should I decide to leave this mortal coil?
That's right. So make those decisions now before it's too late to make those decisions.
And you can bet on it too. You can bet on a lot of things, but this one's actually like a life or death bet.
Just like that guy growing his fingernails, how long does it take to reach 1.45 centimeters?
You could bet on that
so
too. But I'm thinking 2050 for Teflon to be at 50%. 2050.
2050 for Teflon to be 50% in food.
I'm in on 50-50. There you go.
I don't think 2050 is too soon for global adoption.
It's going pretty fast though, right?
Well, it's not. It's been at zero for thousands of years.
It's gotten the Ig Nobel Prize just this year.
That's true. Yeah, that is true. So it's due for a surge, just like we talked about.
And thanks to this podcast, it's being advertised internationally to, our millions upon millions of listeners. So go out, everybody. Go and buy some Teflon.
I wonder if this would constitute sufficient copyright. So as soon as a company comes up with doing it in their food, we can be like, oh, well, we popularized that. We want some royalties.
Oh, that's a good point. Start a lawsuit.
So if you're out there listening, Kraft, we want money. We want money. Because it'll start in the Parmesan cheese.
Mac and cheese Kraft dinner. It's delicious. You just replace all the calories with Teflon. And then you have calorie-free Kraft dinner. People love Kraft dinner, but it's kind of like it's a guilty pleasure because it does have, it's not necessarily the healthiest thing. What with the powdered cheese? You don't like Kraft dinner? Oh, well, there we go. Maybe with Teflon. You'll grow to like
maybe I'll come around with Teflon. Yeah. That's what it was missing. Fucking Teflon. Yeah.
The juicy taste of Teflon.
Yep. What Teflon tastes like?
Well, apparently it's tasteless, right? It has no taste. It has nothing to it.
I feel like it can't be tasteless. Like it has to, like even if you say like what is actually tasteless?
I don't know.
If you name something that's supposed to be taste, like I always think like, oh, water. Water's supposed to, no, water has a taste.
Well, if it's distilled water, like pure water with no minerals, it probably doesn't have a taste. But how are you going to get that?
Oh, yeah, I guess that's true. They'll probably have to like sugar. They'll probably mix the Teflon with sweetener or something. And
yeah, but it's all 0 calorie. We talked about artificial sweeteners.
That's the important thing. Yeah, but you got to think about the taste though too, because that's a
yeah. But they can make something taste like anything. Nowadays, you can just
but that uses I guess it doesn't matter if Teflon cancels out the calories. You just put whatever in there for taste.
Now you just have a sandwich of just chemicals.
Yeah. Yeah. Well, that's the dream.
Yeah.
But moving on from that conversation, let's talk about the movie we watched.
The One I Love from 2014.
Interesting movie. Interesting premise, I suppose.
Yeah, it was a very interesting movie. It had the same exact problem that Horse Girl had with the end, where it kind of just, for me, it fell apart.
Yeah.
But you remember Horse Girl, right? You remember it's like it was very down to earth, and then suddenly, whoop, it just goes balls to the wall in terms
time
of
loop or something.
What's going
like
on?
That.
Yeah, like some sort of actual cosmic aberration instead of just this hypothetical. Oh, let's talk about it.
Yep.
I was on board until like that last part. I don't know. I thought it was going to be some sort of philosophical explanation. They would just realize something, and then suddenly everything starts going back to normal, and it was all just a hallucination or some psychological.
No, I mean, I think I knew it wasn't going to be that straight. Like as soon as they came to the place, and there were all those pictures of the couples that said "so happy" and all that, and then the second they found one of the doppelgangers, I was like, oh, I know what this is going to be. Well, I thought I knew what it was going to be. I thought it was going to be literally the doppelgangers are taking the place of the main guys.
Well, they would have if they succeeded, if it wasn't for those meddling kids.
But then it started to... So anyway, so the movie was about a couple who's having marriage problems. Our therapist recommends them going to a cottage for a weekend. And when they get to the cottage, they find out there's a guest house. And in that guest house are apparently perfect versions of themselves that can only be accessed one at a time when the other person isn't in there. And then they throw all of that out the window about 2/3 of the way through the movie because...
Yeah, the rule goes away, goes out the window.
Yeah, the rule just completely changed. But I guess they explain it by being like, as the original couple's power or bond weakens, the powers of the doppelgangers get stronger. So, like, I was fine with the original premise. Like, only one person can be in there and, all that stuff. And the movie would have worked better, especially, and given, we talked about last week, Mark Duplass has written and produced some horror movies. The movie would have worked better as a horror movie, I think, where it just became increasingly obvious that the doppelgangers were out to steal their lives in a more sinister way than this, cutesy little half-assed way that they decided to do it. But then it was like, okay, well, now the doppelgangers come into the house, and then it turns out the doppelgangers were calling their family, and the family was just like, something's weird, but we're just going to play along, I guess. And then there were videos where the doppelgangers were actually other people.
It was just sound bites. It wasn't video.
No, they showed a picture.
Did they? Oh, I guess you mean the one photo at the end?
Well, they showed a picture with the doctor who was played by Ted Danson.
Yeah, that's right. Yeah.
With the two people before they became the doppelgangers. So they were actually like other people.
See, I that's what I didn't get. Like, how did they become what they were?
Yeah. But then also, how were they constrained by this supernatural? Like, what was this supernatural force? Like, how were...
Yeah, the invisible wall that he ran into at the end. That's where the movie
even the door locking, not even
yeah.
be able to open the doors when, somebody was in there, like...
And not break the glass, which, I mean, it's just glass. It's not bulletproof.
Yeah. Like, a lot of the movie didn't really make sense, unfortunately. That's why I think, if they added some horror elements, they could have explained away some of that, at least. We're in a serious movie, which I guess is labeled as a comedy, but...
I don't know how this is a comedy.
Yeah.
I mean, I like the movie, but when I saw that it's... Because I needed to find the title again recently, and I was like, what, is this a comedy, really?
It wasn't much of a comedy. It's not how I would have described it, but it didn't make a lot of sense. And the ending ambiguity was also off-putting, I think.
It was weird, because why didn't she protest at the end, the real one? Like, was she, despite the real guy's, like heartfelt apology or whatever you want to call it, it seemed like she was coming on board again, the real wife. But then at the end, she's like all for the doppelganger again. That's what confused me.
So I read up on this last night, and there's a lot of people that are saying he left with the real one.
So why was she cooking bacon, though? That was the twist, right? That was the fact that she was cooking bacon?
Right, so they say the reason she was cooking bacon is because they fixed the relationship.
Oh, I thought she had just some other reason for it. Like, I don't know.
So she wanted to cook the bacon.
She's Jewish or something.
No, it's just that she didn't like cooking bacon or didn't like the smell of bacon or whatever it was. So, people said that, because my interpretation was he left with the doppelganger.
Yeah, that's what I thought too, because of the bacon.
But a lot of people thought he left with the original one, and that it was just they fixed the relationship.
Also, he didn't seem very happy at the end.
No, he was like confused, yeah.
Like, oh man, I wish I left with the doppelganger.
But again, it might have been him realizing that, she has come around.
Oh, okay. That's true. That's a nicer ending then, if you think of it that way.
Yeah, that's a nicer ending. And I don't know, maybe it does make a little bit more sense, because at no point in the actual movie did the doppelganger Sarah like show interest in him. And she even said like, I'd rather be stuck here with him not loving me than going out there.
I thought that was just a trick to leave.
Well, maybe it was. But then why wouldn't she just like, if she wasn't interested in the original him, the original, I can't remember what his name is, Mark?
Ethan?
Is it Ethan? The original Ethan. If she wasn't interested in the original Ethan, why wouldn't she just f*** off after they got out?
Because she needs to gauge the situation first. She leaves immediately. She has no money. She doesn't know what to do. This way she can leech off him for a little bit, and then boom, he's dead. Head in the toilet.
But also like...
filled with Teflon.
But also, yeah, there you go. But also part of my presumption was, and again, this was confusing. Like originally I thought they were, and I even saw people say online like, oh, they're like golems, for example.
What would that be?
The doppelgangers.
Yeah, but like golems. Golem in what way?
Well, in the sense that they're
like not
malleable
human.
Nothings. Then later on, it sounded more like they were the former couple that were repurposed to look like the other people to take their lives when they get out.
But how do they do that? How do they repurpose them?
I don't know.
That's the thing that bothers me, that they didn't explain. Like, and the voice change, because again, this is the stuff that you hear in the audio clips, right?
Oh yeah, they were also testing the voices, and
like how that's very impressive. Good for these couples. Every single couple apparently that has marital issues can change their voice at will to sound like the next couple. It's amazing.
That's right. Yeah.
And the other thing that bothered me was, why would they delete the file, just the audio with the Sophie and Ethan? It was Sophie and Ethan. Why would they delete just their audio and not empty the recycle bin?
I don't understand why the doppelgangers would have those
Yeah,
anyways.
why would they just leave the coop, what it was called, right? The coop, that room, or the little side house where they did the audio editing? Why would that even be available? And it was unlocked when they first got there. He didn't even snoop. He was like, normally a human being would probably be like, you'd be curious, like, what's going on here? What's on the computer there, on the
Yeah, but you
desktop?
would think that those files were like for the doctor or something like that. So why are they just
Yeah, that's a
in the
breach of
house of the
confidentiality.
doppelgangers? Like I don't. Well, I'm not worried about that, but I just don't understand why they would have it in the first place.
Yeah, I don't know. Certain things in this movie bothered me, so it's like I wish, because it was good until a certain point, and then it was the horse girl situation again.
I don't know. I also found it. I also thought it was maybe kind of repetitive. Like it was just like the movie never really went anywhere.
Well, it was only an hour and a half.
Well, it's true. It was a short movie, thank God. But it could have been shorter. It could have
Oh,
been like
come on, it wasn't that bad.
could have been like a TV show because like well they just kept re-going like the whole thing was the main guy and girl don't love each other no matter how hard he tries to get back on her good side.
Well, it's funny though because it's no matter
She
how
falls
hard
into the
she
arms of the
tries.
doppelganger.
One of the parts in the movie was about how much effort she's trying to put into getting it all to work because he's the one who cheated on her originally, and yet she was, she still persists on trying to like make
I don't
amends.
think she tried at all from the minute they got there. Her trying was, the willing, and he explained it, the willingness to go to the doctor and then, take a try at that. But the second she slept with the doppelganger, that was all gone. Like she was excited to go see him.
But she
She
didn't know
spent
that
extra
was the
time with
doppelganger
him.
at the
Like
time. That's the
right, but
confusing thing.
but the second, yeah, but she knew they knew it like literally 5 minutes later, and everything turned from then. She spent extra time in the house. She kept going to see him and talk to him. She did eventually try to sleep with him again. When they were when they were doing the poker game, she kept giving him looks and more or less ignoring her actual husband. There was no point, and that's another reason why I don't necessarily accept the ending that people have said online where that was the original Sarah, because I didn't think there was any real point in the movie where she showed that she was willing to give him another chance after knowingly meeting the doppelganger. Like it just didn't seem to me like she had any interest in the original one. And I guess she tried, but I think especially when the original Ethan tricked her into sleeping with him when she thought it was the doppelganger. I think that's where it was pretty much over.
The way I wanted the movie to go was, at one point they mentioned something like, or she mentioned to Ethan that it felt if he feels more like a memory of how things were, but like now, but like in real time. And I thought it would be something like that, where it was not really a doppelganger as it was just, it was their hypothetical ideal, which existed at some point in their relationship, but now manifested itself as this entity. And I thought it was going to be that, and that's why I went with this, like, oh man, I hope it's going to be the psychological reveal where it's like, oh, it's all kind of in their minds or something, and then eventually just, they just come together. But yeah, it turned out to be this other thing.
Yeah, no, that would have made sense. But yeah, it wasn't, for me, it didn't do much for me, unfortunately, the movie. I guess minute to minute it was okay, but overall it was meh.
A toilet bowl full of Teflon.
Well, King of the Hill, this or what are you on? I can't even remember.
Marcel the Shell with shoes on.
Oh, Marcel the Shell. Yeah. Okay.
Now, Marcel the Shell with shoes on is still my top. And not because necessarily, like, I did like this movie, but I feel like I wouldn't want to watch it again. It's too unsettling for me. I guess I don't like anything with doppelgangers. It does. It's not that it's like horror or scary or whatever, but it just makes me feel unsettled. In real life, I would be unsettled too in such a scenario.
Well, that's fair. And I'm gonna stick with Harder They Fall. This was, to me, kind of a bottom tier movie.
Wow, another bottom tier movie.
What do you mean another bottom tier movie?
Well, no, it's just like what
I guess
was
last week was a bottom tier also, but
Yeah, you had Save the Last Dance was a bottom tier. This one's bottom tier. Abduction is bottom tier. Man, a lot of stuff is bottom tier.
Abduction was
for
like
you.
2 years ago. That was like 2 years ago. I was actually listen, last night I was actually reflecting that I haven't hated as many of these movies as I thought I would.
Oh, okay, so it's a good thing.
Overall, it's been a good thing. That's not to say there haven't been movies I hated, because there absolutely have been, but definitely has not been as many as I expected there to be.
Well, that's wonderful. You could use that as the quote for like randomize your movie suggestions. I haven't hated as many as I thought I would.
Exactly. Anyways, so we're flipping over to holiday movies this week. So why don't you tell us what our first holiday movie is?
All right, holiday movie generator, generate The Perfect Holiday.
Is that what it's called, or are you?
No, that's what it's called, The Perfect Holiday. No, it's just when I clicked on randomize for holiday movie generator, it immediately gave me one. There was no options, right? Like there would be with the other ones. So I got immediately The
Oh, right.
Perfect
Okay.
Holiday.
Oh, okay. All right. Perfect holiday.
2007, I guess. Yeah, looks pretty good. It's got a black cast, so you're a big fan of
Oh,
those.
Charlie Murphy. It's got Charlie Murphy in it. Eddie Murphy's less funny brother.
Ah, okay. He plays Jay Jizzy.
Terrence Howard is in it, who got fired from Iron Man.
All you need to know is that it has Queen Latifah, so you know it's going to be a good movie.
Queen Latifah's solid. You know, she just kind of dropped off. I like Queen Latifah movies, and like she did a holiday movie too. I can't remember what it was, but I do remember it. And then she just kind of disappeared.
Well, she got tired.
I guess I just don't know. I haven't seen her in like I guess she does Ice Age and some voice stuff.
She's the lead in the revival of the action drama The Equalizer. Wow, that's impressive. So instead of the Equalizer being a man, it's a woman, and she's playing the lead. That's cool.
I don't know what The Equalizer is. So.
The Equalizer is a movie with Denzel Washington. I mean, it was based on a TV show from a long time ago. But basically what happens is it's a person who looks like an everyman, but who solves problems for people, like, killing people if he needs to, that type of thing. He helps people who can't help themselves.
Yeah, you know how successful gender bender remakes are. So.
Well, I don't know. It had 5 seasons. It was canceled after 5 seasons, but it did have 5 seasons.
Oh, it's a TV show.
That brings it down to where you were wondering where is she, and yeah, that's where she was.
There you go. Actually, the other gender bender revival that has done well is that new Kathy Bates, the new Matlock. But I love Kathy Bates. But anyways, so we're talking about Queen Latifah, not Kathy Bates. The Perfect Holiday. Divorced mother of 3 feels especially lonely during the holidays, sensing her sadness. Nancy's younger daughter has a plan to make her mom happy again. She asks a department store Santa to pay Nancy a compliment. That's that goes on for 96 minutes. Huh? All right.
I want to see how they elongate such a wonderful premise, such a very concise premise. It's gonna take a lot of twists and turns. There might be some time travel involved, some hallucinations. I'm looking forward to it. This might be your new King of the Hill. I'm just prepping you. I know you like The Harder They Fall, but man, this is a classic. This is a Christmas classic.
Yeah, so we'll see. So our holiday movie season kicks off with The Perfect Holiday. So
it's all downhill from there.
Nowhere. I was gonna say nowhere to go but down. Why don't you tell us your word of the fortnight?
The word of the fortnight this time around is August. August. It's an adjective. I'm not talking about the month, but they do pronounce it August. So there's 2 pronunciations on Merriam-Webster. One is August, which probably isn't the common one for the adjective, but the one that they say is it's august, and it means being grand and noble. And my example is Augustine thinks August is an august month. And I heard this word in Genshin Impact.
We're getting very close to our annual words of the year.
Oh, that's right, yeah. It's going to be all the youthful new words from this year.
Yeah, let's see what all the friggin' new gen crap slang is.
I probably know some of it now. I'm in the know.
That's
with
true.
With the cool kids these days.
You're more on the TikToks and all that now, so you probably have an idea. Anyways, it's Pokemon time. It's Pokemon time. Do 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 do. We are listening to the sounds of Pokemon we judged. We're figuring out who the sounds of the Pokemon we judged last season belong to. The legendaries. And we're on round 28. This is between Pokemon 59 and 70. 59 lost. Here is what it sounded like.
Very abrupt.
And it belongs to Latias.
And doesn't fit whatsoever.
No, it really doesn't.
This is a 100% female Pokemon who's making this sound.
Have we heard the... Oh, we haven't yet. I was going to say, have we heard its counterpart?
I wonder if its counterpart sounds more feminine.
But yeah, Latias is a legendary Pokemon from Gen 3, which is Ruby and Sapphire. and it's not one of the main ones, but just kind of the side one. And it just kind of, flies around with its buddy. It's a member of the Eon duo with Latios, Latias and Latios. Bird-like body stylized after a plane. Has a long neck and a squat a squat body, and it floats. Psychic and dragon.
It's not bad.
It's an interesting looking Pokemon. It's no Heatran, but
Apparently, it has invisibility powers. That's amazing.
yeah, that's right. It can disappear. Yeah, it's very rarely seen because it can just disappear.
Just pop out of existence. Wait, why does this? There's some images where it actually looks like an airplane, where its wings are horizontal.
Yeah, they just go like straight out. It doesn't actually fly, it like floats.
Oh, okay. It's
It can't
amazing.
even move. It's a very rigid Pokemon. It can't do anything.
Can't wipe
float
itself. That's not good. We talked about that, right? We got to see like which Pokemon has the easiest time going to the bathroom and wiping itself.
Yeah, we don't have to see that.
Wow, we can think
but
about
yeah,
it.
So that's why it's got this little cry. It just doesn't have much movement anywhere. It's a very rigid Pokemon. Its voice box just doesn't work. But so Latias lost to number 70. Who is this? And that belongs to Reggie Ice.
Regis Philbin.
Regis Philbin. That's right. Regis. Yeah. Yeah, I guess they didn't do a good job in... They could have put two eyes there, I think. It's supposed to be Reggie Ice. Because the other ones are Reggie Rock, Reggie Steel, Reggie Alecki, Drago. They could have put another eye there so that it... Because it does just read as Regis.
Oh, you mean to have Reggie Ice?
Yeah.
Well, how is it pronounced? Is it Regis or Regice or Regis?
Well, I think it's supposed to be Reggie Ice.
Oh, really? Okay. So in that case, you're right. There should be another eye or some way of...
Like, if it's going to be in line with... Like, I'm just thinking if it's going to be in line with the other ones, it should be Reggie Ice. I mean, maybe it's not. I've never heard it pronounced, I guess. Since, 2025, Pokemon still doesn't have voice acting.
Probably in the show, though.
Yeah. But, yeah. So it's a big rock golem thing made of ice, appropriately. And we've seen a few of these already now. It's part of the legendary giants with Reggie Rock, Reggie Steel, Reggie Alecki, and Reggie Drago. And I guess they can merge or whatever into a bigger Reggie form.
Reggie Fils-Aimé.
That's right, Reggie Fils-Aimé. Yeah. Gotta make sure we make that joke on each one we...
Yeah, I mean, it's amazing to me. That's like the perfect joke to make. That's the only thing I think of when I think of these Pokemon. I just think of Reggie Fils-Aimé. But I don't know. I like this team. I like this set of
yeah, I do.
Reggie Pokemon.
Yeah, I like when they can kind of make these. Same with Eevee. Like, I like all the Eevee stuff.
Well, the designs are also pretty good. That's what I'll say. Like, it's not as boring as some of the other legendaries we've seen. They have some personality to them, each one, without being overbearing.
True. And this one was relatively successful. Made it all the way to round 4 before it got knocked out.
Because it has the... what did you call it?
Yeah, it does. Well, the slide whistle. That is true. So if you ever hear a slide whistle, it's either a little child or a Reggie Ice. Moving on to matchup 29. It was between 38 and 91. And 38 lost. And here's what it sounded like. And... that one belongs to Reggie Steel.
That's right. It's very robotic if you think about it. So the sound, even though it's kind of bad quality, I guess, it does sound a bit like a robot.
It does, and it does look like a robot, so it kind of fits.
I wonder how it walks though. It's got a weird set of legs there, kind of like half legs.
Probably just waddles.
I wonder if it actually waddles or it just floats. The lazy thing to do in all these Pokemon is just have them float because they don't have to animate anything.
Yeah, that's true. Let's see if it says how it moves. No, it doesn't. Yeah, you have to refer to the anime, I guess, to see how it moved in that. Lucario and the Mystery of Mew. But yeah, very robot. Also, remember that they all have 7 eyes.
Yeah, that's true.
So this one has 7 eyes and different forms of 7 eyes. Because the Reggie Ice had them in like a cross pattern. And this one's got kind of a...
hexagon.
With an eye in the middle.
Yeah, and then Reggie Rock was an H. There's another one that's a bone, and then there's another one that's
like a Y.
Yeah, I guess not really a Y, but
no, well, it's kind of a Y with a thing in the.
Yeah, it's got something extra. But fair enough. Yeah, I'm sure that's not a hidden message, a hidden cry for help from Game Freak.
How many are there? There should be 7. If they have 7 eyes, they should have made 7 of them.
No, you hypothesized that they would only make 7, but they haven't made all 7 yet.
Oh, okay. All right. They got time. The Pokemon series isn't going anywhere. It'll be around Long after we're gone. Long after we've reached our Teflon threshold.
We've succumbed to the Teflon ratio.
And the Reggies will still be there, multiplying. Anyways, it lost to number 91, and 91 sounded like this.
It's a nice sound.
And that one belongs to Fion.
Let's see. I'm sure it fits the Pokemon. And it does.
You know what? It kind of does.
It doesn't look like a legendary Pokemon, not by a long shot, but hey, it's okay.
You know what? I think I disagree with you on this one because it kind of reminds me of Mew and Celebi. I think that's kind of what they were going with these guys.
Yeah, but
but yeah, that's how I feel. Like from Diamond and Pearl, it is. So the weird thing about it is it's kind of a baby Pokemon technically because you get it from breeding its other Sea Guardian, Manaphy. So that's kind of. Oh, and that is the only way. Wait, no, my Pokemon Ranch breed Manaphy. Yeah, it's the only way you can get it, but it doesn't evolve into Manaphy.
And Fion never evolves out of Fion.
That's right. Yeah. So it doesn't turn into Manaphy, but it comes from Manaphy. So I'm not exactly sure. It's kind of like a sub legendary then, I guess. If Manaphy is the legendary, this is its bastard offspring with Ditto. Like you're the watered down version. But they're often stronger, right? Like if you look at like somebody like Goku's kids, right? They're half breeds, but very often they talk about them being stronger than Goku.
Yeah, except not if Goku could help it. He's always trying to one up them. He's always like, he'll say like, oh, well, my son's stronger. And then Gohan's like, really, Dad? It's like, no, shut up. And he just goes and kills him. You shut your mouth, Gohan.
Right. Yeah.
I don't think that's a good comparison. I don't think Pokemon should be compared in like parental wise to Goku.
Well, that's the only frame of reference I have is that sometimes the half breed is stronger. Anyways, it's a little water thing, a little water nymph thing. I don't know. Round head.
It's got a tumor on its head as well,
and a ribbon coming out of it.
The tumor has a tail.
It's just a cute little looking thing.
Well, see, that's and now if you look at Manaphy, it looks like Manaphy actually. I prefer how Manaphy looks because first of all, the eyes have some character to them. They're brighter. They're yellow instead of blue on blue, and I don't know. It just looks more consistent to me.
I mean, they look pretty similar.
Oh, Manaphy! I didn't see it. Manaphy has two balls as well, so that explains it. The tumor has detached, floated down the ribbon, floated down the tail, and metastasized. Is that it? What it duplicates? There we go. Now there's two of them. Oh no!
So there you go. I can see how they're in the same family. I just don't get how it can be a baby Pokemon, but then doesn't evolve into.
I think it's not the first one we had this with.
Yeah, no, I believe you're right.
And it bothers me now as it did back then.
Yeah, it does make a lot of sense, but maybe one of the future games they'll be like, you know what, let's evolve him. Why not?
Well, they've done that before, I guess, right? They've Togepi at some point, right? When the gang was carrying around Togepi, that was just the one Pokemon, and then eventually Togepi evolved.
No, it did evolve. But
that was a different generation that it evolved.
It had another evolution after that.
Oh, okay.
There's a few Pokemon like that. Like same with like Magnemite, right? It only evolved into Magneton, and then it wasn't until later on that it evolved into Magnezone.
I guess we can cut them some slack. Game Freak's been really under a lot of pressure lately, making their millions of dollars. They really
are, yeah. They're billions of dollars.
Billions of dollars, sorry. I didn't check the time. A minute passed, so now it's $1 billion.
Yeah, that's right, yeah. Next week it'll be $1 trillion. But anyways, 91, let's see. 91 went knocked down in the second round, so it didn't go very far, but that little drop thing, it fits them.
It does, yeah.
There we go. There's our 4 Pokemon for the week. That's it. That's it for this week. So everybody go eat your Teflon, slim down, grow your fingernails.
Paint your cows, paint yourself.
Don't drink and fly.
If you're a bat. No. That's only for bats. Only for fruit bats. Egyptian fruit bats. If you're a different type of bat, you're fine.
That's true.
Drink up.
And we'll see you in 2 weeks. Ciao.